For all the noise this offseason has made around the NBA, one storyline remains at the center of the Golden State Warriors' future: Jonathan Kuminga. At just 22 years old, Kuminga is one of the most explosive and promising young talents in the league. His athleticism, scoring flashes, and improved feel for the game have put him on the radar of rival teams, but also put the Warriors in a tight spot. He's a restricted free agent. He wants a bigger role. He believes in his star potential, and he's not wrong. But can Golden State afford to give him that chance? Or are they heading toward a breakup they can't avoid? This is not just about one player. This is about what the Warriors want to be in 2025. A team building for the future, or one going all in for one last title run? Let's break it down. From the moment the Warriors were eliminated by the Timberwolves, the front office had a priority: figure out the Kuminga situation. He ended the season averaging 15.3 points per game and turned heads with 24.3 per game in his final 4 playoff appearances. The talent is real. The upside is undeniable. But so is the frustration. According to multiple reports, Kuminga wants more responsibility. He wants to expand his role, grow into the star he knows he can become. The problem? He's sharing the floor with Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and potentially other veteran stars the Warriors may add. And as it stands, the team's system and timeline don't leave much space for a young player to make mistakes or develop slowly. Golden State extended him a qualifying offer. That means they can match any other team's contract offer. But here's where it gets tricky. No team has made a move. Not Miami, not Sacramento, not even Brooklyn, which was rumored to have interest before the offseason began. Why? Because of the restricted free agency trap and the new CBA rules. In this climate, teams don't want to tie up cap space, making offers that are just going to get matched. They're waiting, watching, hoping the Warriors flinch. And Golden State, they're playing it cool. But make no mistake, this is a standoff. According to league insiders, there's a growing belief that the two sides will eventually agree to a short-term deal. That would keep Kuminga in the Bay for now, but more importantly, allow the Warriors to retain trade flexibility once he becomes fully trade eligible in December. In other words, they'd be paying him, not necessarily to build around him, but to use his contract in a future blockbuster deal. Does that sound like trust or a trap? Here's the question every Warriors fan needs to think about. Can Golden State afford to keep Kuminga and not play him like a core piece? Because make no mistake, if they're not planning to expand his role, he's not sticking around long term. The Kings want him. The Heat have shown past interest. Even if the sign and trade talks didn't gain traction, the league is watching, and the longer this negotiation drags on, the more risk there is that this relationship breaks. But from the Warriors' perspective, they hold the cards. They can match any offer. They can delay a decision until Summer League meetings in Vegas. They can buy time just long enough to see what other moves line up in free agency. Whether it's signing Al Horford, reuniting with Gary Payton II, or targeting a bigger prize like Damian Lillard, everything starts with resolving Kuminga's status. So, here we are, stuck in a summer freeze, and no one moves until Kuminga's fate is decided. Now, over to you, Dub Nation. Should the Warriors give Kuminga the bigger role he wants and bet on his development? Or should they use his value in a package for a veteran that fits the win-now window with Steph and Draymond? Is a short-term deal a smart play or just kicking the can down the road? Let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to Warriors Nation News, and turn on those notifications because this free agency drama is far from over, and we'll be covering every twist and turn, especially as Summer League ramps up in Vegas. Stay locked in and go Dubs.
The Golden State Warriors are no strangers to veteran value. Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, Otto Porter Jr., even David West. When the Warriors are at their best, it's not just because of the stars. It's because they fill out the roster with seasoned pros who understand the moment, embrace the system, and deliver when it matters most. And this offseason, that veteran formula might be more important than ever. With limited cap space and the new CBA breathing down their neck, the Warriors must get creative and strategic, especially with their eyes still locked on potential contributors like Chris Paul, Malcolm Brogdon, Russell Westbrook, Al Horford, Gary Payton II, and even DeAnthony Melton. Each brings a different skill set. Each could change the tone of the second unit, but which of them truly fits what Golden State needs right now? Let's break it down. Let's start with the familiar name, Chris Paul. Yes, CP3 is 40. Yes, he was waived. But the man still knows how to run an offense. His assist-to-turnover ratio remains elite, and in spurts, he can control the tempo of a game like no one else. Rumors suggest he's only considering teams close to his family in Los Angeles, which makes the Clippers and Suns the early favorites. But don't count the Warriors out just yet. They know Paul. They know what he can do. If the deal is short, cheap, and incentive-laden, it's not out of the question that CP3 could return for one last run, this time embracing a smaller, more targeted role. Then there's Malcolm Brogdon, maybe the most Warriors-like player on this list. He's smart, he's composed, he's a Sixth Man of the Year winner. And while he's had injury issues, he averaged 12.7 points and nearly 4 assists per game with the Wizards last season. His market is tied to what happens with Paul and Westbrook, but Golden State has reportedly shown interest. He would be a quiet steal and the kind of player who could play 25 minutes a night without disrupting chemistry. Russell Westbrook, meanwhile, is polarizing. Explosive, passionate, tough, and still lightning fast in transition. But he's also ball dominant, and his fit with the Warriors' movement-heavy offense is questionable at best. The Kings and Bucks are keeping tabs on him, and while Westbrook brings heart and hustle, there's little indication that the Warriors are seriously pursuing him. From a fit standpoint, it's shaky, but you never rule out a big name in a compressed market. Stranger things have happened. And what about Al Horford? This is a name that keeps coming up around Chase Center. At 39 years old, Horford isn't what he once was, but what he is now might be exactly what Golden State needs. A high IQ big man, elite defensive communicator, playoff experience, and most importantly, he's a low-maintenance professional who can space the floor, defend the post, and lead quietly behind the scenes. According to multiple sources, the Warriors are in strong position to land Horford once the Jonathan Kuminga situation is resolved. They've held off on finalizing moves, likely because they need to know how much flexibility they'll have under the apron. If Kuminga signs a short-term deal and the Warriors make no major trades, Horford could be wearing blue and gold by the end of July. But the Warriors are not stopping there. They've also kept tabs on DeAnthony Melton and Gary Payton II. Melton, recovering from a torn ACL, brings two-way toughness and shot-making from the outside. He was heavily linked to the Lakers, but their cap situation may have pushed him back towards Golden State. And GP2? We all know the story. When healthy, he's a game changer on defense. The fan base loves him, the locker room respects him, but money will be a factor. And with several contenders also looking for depth, Golden State may need to act fast if they want a reunion. Trey Lyles is also in the mix, a big man who can stretch the floor and provide physicality. He wouldn't be a splashy signing, but in the Warriors system, he could thrive in limited minutes. Bottom line, the Warriors don't need stars here. They need fit. They need players who can defend, cut, shoot, and think the game. And those players are still out there. The free agency frenzy might not be what it used to be, But the Warriors have never relied on headlines to win championships. They rely on cohesion, chemistry, basketball IQ. That's why this second wave of the offseason could be more important than the first. Golden State is clearly waiting for the right prices, the right personalities, and the right pieces to fall into place once the Kuminga contract is settled. But once that happens, don't be surprised if the front office moves quickly to lock in one or two experienced veterans that bolster the locker room and the playoff rotation. So, let's ask the real question here. Who would you want the Warriors to sign out of this group? Should Chris Paul come back for one final run? Would Malcolm Brogdon give the second unit the control it needs? Is Al Horford the veteran big that finally balances the front court rotation? And would you welcome back GP2 if the price is right? Let us know in the comments below. Your take could shape the next episode of Warriors Nation News. Like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make sure notifications are on because this offseason isn't over, and we'll be with you all the way through Summer League, training camp, and beyond. Stay sharp, Dubs fans, and go Warriors.
Some names hit different. Damian Lillard isn't just another superstar entering free agency. He's a Bay Area legend, an Oakland native, a fierce competitor who, for over a decade, battled the Warriors as a proud Blazer, but who always carried deep respect for Golden State's culture, style, and yes, Stephen Curry. Now, with Lillard officially a free agent after being waived by Milwaukee and set to miss most of next season with an Achilles tear, the question that's been simmering for years is suddenly real. Could Dame time finally arrive in the Bay? Let's talk about why the Warriors should be all in on this move and why Lillard just might feel the same. Let's get the facts straight. Damian Lillard is not in a rush. After suffering a torn Achilles, he's expected to miss most, if not all, of the 2025-2026 season. He won't help any team right away, but this move is about the long game. And for a franchise like Golden State, that might be exactly what makes this moment so interesting. Lillard's buyout from the Bucks came without salary sacrifice. That's rare. It also signals that he's prioritizing fit, loyalty, and championship potential, not a max payday. And if there's one organization that checks all three boxes, it's the Golden State Warriors. Let's not forget, back in 2023, when Lillard asked out of Portland, his first preference wasn't Miami. It was to play with Jimmy Butler, but he also had strong connections to Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, both of whom he's worked out with in the past, praised publicly, and shared deep mutual respect with. This isn't speculation, it's documented. And the Warriors? They've kept an eye on this possibility for years. They know Dame's loyalty. They know his clutch DNA. They know that in a late playoff game, there might not be a more dangerous shot maker outside of Steph himself. That's not just redundancy, that's overwhelming firepower. But let's be clear, Golden State wouldn't be signing Lillard for 2025-2026. They'd be investing in 2026-27, what could be the final championship push of the Curry era. Imagine that core: Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, or his trade value, plus a savvy front court rotation with Al Horford, Trace Jackson-Davis, or even Gary Payton II in the mix. That's not a rebuild, that's a reload. Of course, there are other suitors. Boston is interested, especially with Jason Tatum also recovering from an Achilles tear. The Heat always linger. The Clippers are in the mix. But no team offers Lillard what Golden State does: home. And that matters. Dame is an Oakland kid. He went to Weber State, but the Bay Area never left him. He still trains here in the offseason. He still shows love to the fans. And for a man who's built his entire brand on loyalty and legacy, coming to the Warriors wouldn't feel like chasing rings, it would feel like completing the circle. Signing Damian Lillard wouldn't just be about next season, it would be a message. A message that the Warriors are not done, that they still believe in Steph, that they still want banners, that they're willing to sacrifice comfort for greatness. It's easy to play it safe, like Kuminga grow. Let the young guys figure it out, make quiet signings, aim for the 6th seed.
But is that really how you want to spend the final years of Steph Curry's career? Because Lillard represents something entirely different. He's fire, he's passion, he's clutch, and most of all, he wants this. He wants to win. He wants to do it with people he respects, and he wants to do it in a place that feels like home. So we ask you, Warriors Nation, do you want the Warriors to pursue Damian Lillard even knowing he may not play this season? Would you rather see them go all in for 2026-27 with Lillard and Steph together? Or should the franchise stay patient and continue developing younger players like Kuminga and Podziemski? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this could be one of the biggest moves in franchise history. And if it happens, we'll be here to cover it first, right here on Warriors Nation News. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a moment of what's next in this dramatic, evolving offseason. The Bay is watching, and Dame, maybe he is too. Go Dubs!